Hey guys, let's talk about last night's episode of Scandal, and it is still on fire. I mean, Shonda is killing it with this series right now. So the main question was, who was Olivia going to work for? Was she going to work for Josephine, or was she going to work for Fitz? So last week's episode ended with Huck and Jake at her door. So we can only assume that they told her what they believe the conspiracy is about Operation Remington. So Olivia decides she needs answers. So she heads over to the president's office and has a one-on-one with Mr. Grant. And she outright asks him what happened with Operation Remington. And he basically is like, listen, you can ask me any question. You can talk to me about your new boyfriend, Jake. You can ask me anything you want. But when it comes to Operation Remington, I don't know what you're talking about. And so she keeps asking him again. And he repeats it. I don't know what you're talking about. So there we have it. Olivia leaves the office and she decides she's going to work for Josephine's campaign. So they're off and running, and they're basically trying to get Josephine to toughen up her image. She can't be jokey all the time, especially when she's talking about foreign policy. She needs to look like a woman in charge. And, Josephine is basically saying she doesn't really want to go negative. She doesn't want to be nasty. She just wants to be herself. And Olivia is like, that's great and everything if you want to win a bake sale, but you're trying to win presidency. So, they're trying to really get under Josephine's skin and get her riled up. And at one point, she basically attacks Olivia and she's like, listen, I'm the one running for president, not you, so don't try to make me out to be somebody else. And so this gives Olivia a little bit of a light bulb moment saying, so she does have a little bit of anger in there. So maybe we can rev it up somehow. So all of a sudden, right before she's supposed to go into this live interview, she ends up seeing this attack ad that's supposedly done by Reston's camp. And basically saying that, Josephine couldn't handle any kind of scary issues if they happen to come her way. And it shows her hand like shaking as it's about to open up a door, basically saying that women are not tough enough. And so this makes Josephine go on the attack. She does this interview and she basically attacks everybody. And it's awesome. And I'm like, hello, Josie for president, please. So, the campaign is going and it's, with Olivia on the helm, it is full steam ahead. And there's this awesome scene before when Mellie was all excited that Olivia was coming to the White House and she wanted to come and see them. So she's like, well, she wouldn't come all this way to not accept our offer. And when she finds out that Olivia's not going to run the campaign for Fitz, she's just vexed. She's like, I cannot believe I brought this whore into the White House and I basically begged for her to, be on our team again. And then she turns us down and she's all PO'd. It was awesome. So, Mellie, you got to hand it to her. She does what she needs to do to succeed. So Sally now has been working with her campaign manager, Leo, who everybody wanted to get last week, and she's basically going to run as an independent. And so she basically comes up with this plan to try to get her churchy supporters to bash Fitz, and so that way she can kind of come in and be the one candidate that is really on their side. So this whole plan works hook, line, and sinker, but the only problem that Sally didn't think about is Cyrus. And Cyrus is a man who is always on a mission. And he is not going to let Sally just underhandedly swoop in and try to steal the thunder. So they decide that they're going to have like this dinner at the president's house. And so Sally invites her husband, and it's just Mellie and it's Fitz. And they're basically having this completely fake conversation. And Mellie's husband is very handsy and he's all flirting with Mellie. And obviously Sally doesn't like this too much. And she already mentioned earlier on that he has a bit of a wandering eye. So, this is something that obviously gets under Sally's skin. And Mellie believes that they can use this to their advantage. And she gives this kernel of information to Cyrus, and Cyrus is like a dog with a bone, and of course he's going to run with it. Now, speaking of Cyrus, lately Cyrus and Harrison have been exchanging phone calls, and when it came to trying to set up who the president was sleeping with a few episodes back, they were thick as thieves and they were helping each other out because obviously they didn't want Olivia to be caught. So back in, I believe it was season 2, when Cyrus had basically started a kill folder on all of these members of Pope and Associates, he obviously dug up information on Harrison. So basically Cyrus says to Harrison, you need to shut Olivia down from working with Josephine. And if you don't, we are going to bring back somebody that you once remember once worked with on insider trading, and that is Adnan Sharif. Yeah, Adnan Sharif. And of course, this like basically turns Harrison's face completely pale. He has this look of horror and he freaks out. So, who is this guy? We haven't heard about this guy, and we haven't really had a backstory about Harrison at all. So, hey, I'm very happy that we're finally getting somewhere with Harrison, and we're gonna find out some bits and pieces and what all that is about. So basically, Harrison beelines over to Huck and is basically like, "Can you stop a visa from being basically accepted? I need you to get rid of it, and whatever you can do." So Huck is like, "All right, I'm on it." And then Harrison and Cyrus have one more conversation where Harrison is basically like, "Listen, we all know that we can't control Olivia, and I don't care what you're trying to do. It's not going to work. You cannot scare me by trying to bring this Anand guy back to town, so just simmer down." And Cyrus is like, "All right, well, good luck in your corner, and I'll have good luck in mine." So he walks out the room, Cyrus gets on the phone, and he basically orders a new visa for this guy. So, Harrison, time to start doing what, I was like, time to start being and acting a little crazy like your partner there, and start learning how to shoot some guns. So what has Quinn been up to all episode? That's right, people. She has been at target practice, and she is trying to hit this target, and it's just not working out for her. And who rolls around the corner? Charlie. Oh my God. What? How is it that Charlie still has 9 lives? Urgh. So he basically tells her, "You need to relax. You're too tight. That's why you're not hitting the target." And she's like, "Oh, please, go away. I don't need your help." And what does she do? She relaxes her shoulders, she aims at the target, and bam, she starts to hit it. So she's all gleeful. I'm like, oh my God, this is just not going to end well. And Quinn, is basically still trying to find out from Huck, what is going on? Why are you so upset? We are friends, talk to me. And she goes to ask him a question about B613 and is like, "Can you ever really get out? Or basically, are you going to be crazy for the rest of your life? No offense." And basically Huck just pushes her aside and he's like, "Now's not a good time to talk." So obviously Quinn is starting to feel neglected by Huck, and obviously she is going to find another person to confide in and to learn more skills from. And who is that going to be? Oh boy, Charlie. And let's not forget that Charlie is the one who taught Huck how to be Huck. Now, here is the worst part of it all. Who is behind all of it? Of course, it's Rowan, aka Command. Oh my God. So Command is basically telling Charlie, "You better make Quinn a killer, and you better make her a damn good one." Oh my God. So of course, Rowan is behind all of it, and God help us all, what is going to happen here? So that was a great reveal. So now let's go back to Olivia. And Olivia has basically spent this entire episode trying to find out the truth about what happened to Remington. And, Olivia is somebody who loves her wine, but this girl is taking it a step too far. She is drinking it like it is juice, and it is crazy. So in one drunken night, she decides she's going to call her dad, and she has this heartbreaking conversation with him. And she's basically like, "Please tell me the truth. Did you have a hand in killing my mother?" And Rowan, of course, is all like, "Nope, I didn't have anything to do with it. And one thing I've learned is you don't want to basically ask questions that you don't want the answers to." And it's like, hello, this is your daughter. Can you please show some emotion, you freak? So, we got some flashbacks in this episode which were really kind of awesome. And it just showed Olivia's eyes, and it just showed kind of flashes of what she could remember, because she was 12 at the time. And she does remember saying goodbye to her mom, but it was heartbreaking to see it, through her eyes again. And there's this scene where Olivia's father's crying right before she walks through the door, and he basically stands up and he's like, "I have something to tell you, which is that your mom has perished in this plane accident." And, how much can we really trust Rowan? He is just, there are no words. I mean, this is the worst father in the world. So now Rowan is, out to kill Jake. He sends out this, Jake is still trying to figure out all these details about what happened, and he goes to this girl he used to work for, or used to work with him, and clearly they had a little bit of a friends with benefits relationship, and he goes to her and he's like, "Can you help me out?" So she's like, "Of course I will." And we know that the president knows that Jake's numbers are imminent. So there's a scene where Jake goes to get this information from this girl, and it's a double cross. And Jake basically is saved by this man who's been following him. And we don't know who he is. And we're supposed to be assuming that it's Rowan's people. But it turns out it's the president's people. Now, the only thing I didn't really like about that scene was I thought, okay, Jake, you're a spy. Wouldn't you hear somebody creeping up behind you, even if he was on your side? But still, thank God Jake is still alive. Woot woot, he lives to see another day. So he goes to the president and he basically says to him, listen, you need to start speaking the truth about this Remington deal because it is crazy and you don't even understand the scope of what it all means. So President goes to see Olivia and he comes into her house and he's like, listen, come back to the campaign. Let's just get things back to the way they used to be. You know, I love you. He doesn't really say I love you, but we all know he loves her. There's no words that he can say that will prove that because he does, and we all know it. And she basically grills him one more time. And she's like, give me the information about Remington. And she starts spewing out all this stuff, the facts that she knows. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, I was 12 when that happened. And she says, my mother was on that plane. And the look on his face is just like, you see his heart sink. He is destroyed. And then he just all of a sudden turns very presidential. And he says, I don't know what you're talking about. And the look on Olivia's face is, and we're done. So the president, she goes over to the door, she opens it, he walks out, and the elevator door closes, and he just looks like he has lost his best friend forever. And I think he has. So last week when I said we have to have some closure between the two of them so that she can actually move on, I think this is the straw that broke the camel's back. So a heartbreaking ending to the episode, but a good ending to the episode. So now Fitz knows the truth. Olivia's mother was on the plane. Olivia's father's denying that he basically sent the kill, hit the kill switch on her mother, and we'll see what happens there. Quinn is going all kill baby kill. Harrison has some deep dark secrets, which are going to be very interesting to see, and it is just getting good, guys. All right. That's it for me, guys. I'll see you next week.